Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this webinar, which is to launch Ecoearn, our platform to engage Dorset NHS Trust employees in sustainable behaviours and wellbeing. Thank you so much for joining today. We're just going to start with the video, which is all about the platform, whilst we wait for a few more people to join us.
Take positive action with the Dorset NHS Trust Sustainability and Wellbeing Programme Ecoearn. Sign up, and with every positive action you make, you will help contribute to a more sustainable NHS. There are over 20 activities for you to take part in and earn points. Earn green points by minimising your waste and bringing a reusable cup. Earn green points. Opt to travel more sustainably by bringing a reusable cup or taking public transport. Get rewarded for tracking your steps. Climb the leaderboard and compete. Get rewarded for tracking your steps at NHS Trust. Climb the leaderboard and see the impact of your actions and how they add up across the trusts. See the impact of your actions, the top and how they add up across the local and national businesses. Each month, sign up today at ecoearn.co.uk or download the app and help the NHS reach ecoearn.co.uk or download the app and help the NHS reach net zero.
So hello and welcome to the webinar to launch Ecoearn, our platform to engage Dorset NHS Trust employees in sustainable behaviours and wellbeing. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Katie and I'm the Programme Manager for the Ecoearn platform. And I'm delighted to introduce Isabel Bourne, Sustainability Manager at Dorset County Hospital, and Stuart Lane, Sustainability and Carbon Manager at University Hospitals Dorset. We, along with the sustainability and comms managers at the other trusts involved in this, have been working hard over the last few months to bring this programme to fruition. So we are delighted to share it with you today. The webinar will last about 30 minutes and we'll start by hearing from Stuart and Isabel about sustainability at the trusts, what's happening and why it's important. We'll then move on to a live demo of the platform and highlight how and why you should get involved. And then we'll have some Q&As at the end. This is all recorded, so you can share it with your colleagues afterwards. So I'll start by handing over to Stuart.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to introduce this new project for Dorset NHS partners. The partnership consists of University Hospitals Dorset, Dorset Healthcare, Dorchester County Hospital, the Dorset CCG, and the Southwest Ambulance Services. And before we dive into the details, I'd like to give you a little bit of background on why this project is so important and what else the partners are doing. So never before has the need been so great to bring about a concerted effort to address the challenges of climate change and ecological breakdown. As a sector, healthcare is driving about 5% of global carbon emissions. And to put that in context, if the healthcare sector was a country, it would be the 5th largest emitter in the world. Of course, carbon isn't the only issue. For example, the NHS accounts for about 5% of all UK road travel, and with it, the NHS is one of the largest drivers of air pollution. The irony is that we're exacerbating a major cause of premature death and disease, and air pollution alone is causing around 700 preventable deaths a week in the UK. The NHS not only has a moral duty to address these challenges, but they also sit at the core of the NHS mission to provide high health and high quality care for all now and for future generations. The Lancet describes climate change as the largest single health risk this century. So what are we doing about it? The NHS recognises climate change as a health emergency, and it aims to become the first net zero healthcare service by 2040 for all the emissions that we directly control, and by 2045 for all the emissions that we can influence. And in Dorset, a group of sustainability managers across the NHS system have been meeting regularly to develop a green strategy and have been busy with a range of sustainability measures. Isabel is going to highlight a small section to give you a flavour of what we've been up to.
Thanks, Stuart. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I mean, even before the NHS made its national commitment to be net zero carbon, our 5 Dorset NHS trusts have been working towards being more sustainable for many years and have set up lots of brilliant initiatives. And I thought it was just nice to take this opportunity to showcase some of those. So quite a recent example is Dorset Healthcare's solar panel project. So Dorset Healthcare collaborated with the not-for-profit Dorset Community Energy to install solar panels on the roofs of 3 of its sites. And those are going to be generating about 250 kilowatt hours of electricity every year, which is going to save a huge 120 tonnes of carbon dioxide a year. For a long time now, University Hospitals Dorset and Dorset County Hospital have been using 100% recycled paper. And this simple change has had a huge impact on reducing the environmental impact of our paper use. Another initiative, and this one came out of the pandemic actually, was the introduction of reusable gowns at Dorset County Hospital. These can be washed 100 times before being disposed. So this has created huge carbon savings. And in 2021, the use of these gowns prevented over 36,000 single-use plastic gowns entering the waste stream. But sustainability isn't all about carbon savings. It's about caring for and protecting the natural world and enjoying all the benefits that go with that. A brilliant example of this is in Blandford, where a paramedic from the South West Ambulance Service and her husband have created a well-being garden for the staff at Blandford Ambulance Station. The staff have enjoyed some much-needed downtime within the garden, and it's also used by colleagues who don't have their own gardens in their free time. I really like this example because it shows that even the actions of just 1 or 2 people can have a really positive impact. Back to you, Stuart.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Isabel. So despite the good work already underway or completed, we still have a huge challenge ahead, and it can only be tackled with the full engagement of all of our teams. We must replace our fleet for zero carbon vehicles, heat and power our buildings with zero carbon sources of energy, apply new zero carbon building standards for all new hospitals, and bring existing building stock up to high efficiency standards. We also need to transform our supply chains, shifting our procurement to low carbon products and services. We also need to switch to greener anesthetics procedures and shift to more localized digital services and many other large structural changes. In short, we need to relook at every single activity and process we undertake through the lens of sustainability. And this is a journey that's being defined en route, one where everyone needs to take personal responsibility. So we're delighted to introduce a new toolkit that we call Ecoearn, which will support us along the way.
So I'm just going to explain a little bit of how Ecoearn fits into all what we've been saying. As you will see from Katie's demo in a minute, Ecoearn makes it easy for staff members to identify actions they can take to help reduce their and the trust's environmental footprint. And it doesn't stop there. It will also signpost staff to resources that support their personal health and well-being, as well as that of the wider population and environment. So the actions are split into 5 themes, and there's lots of actions to choose from within each theme. So you're sure to find some that suit you. Each time you complete an action, you earn points. And with Ecoearn, points mean prizes. Every month, the 5 top points earners will win £20 worth of vouchers. Anyone who has taken part in an activity that month will also have a chance of winning one of 6 £10 vouchers in the monthly raffle. There are some great national voucher options such as cinema tickets and National Garden gift vouchers. But we've also taken this opportunity to showcase some amazing local suppliers who are really living sustainable values. So please do check them out on the Ecoearn homepage.
So I'm delighted now to move on to the actual live demonstration of the Ecoearn platform after that kind of background of why this is important and why we want you to get involved. So when you go to ecoearn.co.uk or download the app, you will register and sign up as part of your trust, and then also your kind of department and team that you work within. And then once you've done that, you've registered, and when you come to sign up, again, you will land on this page. And this is what we call our home page. This is where everything is that you can find to engage with it. And what you'll notice straight away is that we've got this great image here, which is kind of iconic to Dorset and the trusts. And so something that we hope will really resonate with all of you getting involved. And at the top, you'll be able to see the number of green points you've earned, the number of actions you've taken part in, the amount of CO2 you've avoided as a result of those actions, and the streak counter. So how many weeks you've reported your actions consecutively. And these are different ways to engage you and motivate you to keep being part of it. And as Isabel said, there are 5 different themes of the activities that you can get involved with. And we're going to take a little bit of a look at them now. They're really varied. We've got ones that are about submitting a photo, ones which ask you to make a pledge, ones which take you through to find out more information on a particular topic. So there's a wide variety to suit everyone. You can also, on every activity, find out more information about that activity by clicking More Info. And that will bring up details about why that activity is important and or why it's sustainable, how you can make an impact through that activity, as well as other resources you can look at. So let's have a look at some of the activities. Stuart, what do you think is the activity that users should start with?
Well, we're on energy and carbon at the moment. I think that's a good place to start. Could we look at the green plan activity, please? I think this one's important because each of the trusts has its own green plan, and we've also developed one for the Dorset system. And this activity encourages staff to click through and get familiar with these green plans. And of course, that's quite an important step on their journey to supporting the trust to deliver against the plan's objectives, because first of all, they need to know what they are. And this isn't the only activity that's going to support them on that sustainability training journey, but I don't want to spoil the fun. Let them discover some of the others themselves.
Yeah, so as you can see, we've got 6 different activities on the energy and carbon theme, and green plans is a great place to start. Isabel, can you tell us about one of the activities on the waste theme?
Yes. Yeah, the waste theme is good because I just think it's a really tangible way to reduce your environmental impact, kind of anything to do with waste. So as you can see, there's lots of activities, but for those of us, and I think there's plenty who enjoy a takeaway coffee, a really easy way to clock up points is to opt into the reusable cup or bottle activity. You'll get rewarded for every day you use your reusable cup, and depending on where you're buying your coffee from, you'll probably enjoy a discount on the price as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got other ones. I want to highlight the Rehome and Reuse one. So this is about, all those items that maybe you don't need anymore. Rather than disposing of them, there is bound to be someone else who could use them as well. So this activity encourages you to put them on your trust site so that others can make use of them. And Isabel, what about the travel theme?
Yes, so travel is quite a hot topic for us in the Southwest. We don't all have much choice when it comes to how we commute to work, but I think the activities at Ecoearn kind of show that there is actually quite a few things we still can do. And I would say best one to go to first is the air quality quiz. because in about 5 minutes you can earn up to 210 points.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. And of course, through that, learn all about air quality and air pollution and how we can help to reduce that.
Yes.
Moving on to kind of health and well-being, there's lots of activities that are really nice here. Stuart, activity of these?
Yeah, great. Isabel's giving away the hacks there to shortcut to the most points. Keep those under your hat, Isabel. So health and well-being. I really like this section. We've got 2 really smart bits of integration with the Strava platform and the Fitbit service as well. So we all need a bit of a nudge sometimes to look after our physical and mental health, and by, of course, in the act of looking after ourselves, we're looking after our communities and our ecosystems. So it really is a win-win. So these smart features reward you for staying active, and through that integration, you're actually earning points in the Ecoearn system every time you take 10,000 steps through Fitbit, or 30 minutes of activity exercise that is logged through Strava. So fantastic. Really love the way that works. Makes it really nice and easy, and as I say, sort of a nudge in the right direction for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And perfect for this time of year as well. And I would highlight with that, one of my favorites is the Green Up Your Space or the Connect with Nature activities. So with these ones, you can submit a photo. I'm sure there's some beautiful countryside around where you are. So yeah, you can submit a photo of the beach or wherever you've spent time in nature, whether that's your garden or a local park or somewhere further afield, and then we will add a gallery feature to the platform in a few weeks' time, so that you can actually see the photos that users are submitting. Moving on to the final theme, which is about getting involved. Isabel, what's your top tip for the activity that all users should do?
Well, this is another kind of points hack, really, but I think, yeah, a very easy way to earn a lot of points is to choose the refer a colleague activity, because each time you recommend someone and they sign up, you'll earn 500 points. So I think that might be the easiest way to earn points on Ecoearn.
Yeah, absolutely. And to say with that, as an individual, I can take these sustainable behaviours, but by getting another person involved in it, I can almost double the impact that I'm having. So by spreading the word, you're doing kind of a really key thing in spreading that impact that we can have, and it's more fun to get your colleagues involved, so you can see on the leaderboard where you're at.
Absolutely.
Which leads me really nicely on to talk about the leaderboard. So, of course, through these activities, you earn green points. The green points add up, and we want to make it fun. So we've got a bit of a leaderboard here, so you can see where you sit compared to other people taking part. So we have the individual leaderboard, which lists the individuals and the team you're on. And we also have these other leaderboards, so you can see kind of how trusts are comparing, as well as the different teams. So those are the teams that you belong to. And part of this is about winning prizes, so kind of incentivizing and rewarding you for what you've been doing. So as Isabel said, you can win vouchers every month, and you could win a Odeon or Cineworld voucher worth £20, or if you're a top points earner, or £10 if you've done an action, or a National Garden gift voucher, as well as a couple of others which are specific to the trusts and more localised to where you're based. So yeah, lots of opportunities to win prizes there. The top 5 performing individuals will get a £20 voucher. And if you've taken an action that month, we'll be raffling off £10 vouchers to those that have, and there are 6 of them that are available to win. So yeah, that's in summary the platform. If you want to know more about the platform whilst you're on it, you can use the About page at the top here. There's an events calendar, FAQs if you're kind of stuck on something, but there's also a monthly newsletter that you'll receive every month telling you what's new on the platform, announcing those winners, and giving you more information about being more sustainable and general well-being. So look out for them. And every week you'll get reminded to get back on the platform and report against some of those actions. So perhaps you've opted in to reduce your meat intake, for example. It'll ask you how many times that week you have gone meat-free. So that's a kind of brief overview of the platform, but obviously recommend everybody downloads the app, goes and logs on and has an explorer for themselves, because there's lots more than we've just kind of touched the surface. But I'd love to take some questions from you attending. So if you've got some, do pop them in the chat function on the right-hand side. There's a Q&A, and I can see we've got a few, which is great. So yeah, in the Q&A, do let us know your name and what trust you're from, and then your question, and I'll field them between us. So we've got a question from Patrick. What happens if I change departments? So I think it's probably a question for me. So if you move around in the trust, you change workplace, you can go to, you can change your team. So you can go to the top right-hand corner of the platform where you click My Account, and you can go to the Address tab and then select from the drop-down list the team that you're now in. So yeah, very simple, kind of going into the My Account section. And then we've got a question from Ellie. How do I find out about what the organisation is doing to become more sustainable? Perhaps, Isabel, you'd like to answer this one on how they find out more.
Yeah, well, I guess we should plug Ecoearn again. I mean, I would say the best place is to register for Ecoearn and start with the Green Plan activity that Stuart mentioned earlier. That's a great overview for what each trust is doing. And whilst you're there, you could also sign up for the Be a Green Champion activity if you kind of want to link up with other like-minded people in your trust.
Great. We've got a question from D. Owen. So this is around if the team isn't listed. So obviously there's lots of different departments and teams within the trusts. So if you're activating your account and you can't find the team that kind of you think is most relevant to yourself, the way the teams have been structured, do have a look to see if there's one that where you would sit under kind of that suits, and go for that one. But if you think that it doesn't fit, then you can send us an email. So there is a button which will bring a pop-up. You can fill in which team you're kind of wanting to request, and that comes through to our customer service, and then we'll look at that. So yeah, quite a simple process if you feel that. We've got a question from Ali at Dorset Healthcare, saying cycling to work every day, which is great. Unsure how to log the cycling miles. So on that low carbon commute activity, you'll click opt-in, and then every Friday you'll get a weekly email or a push notification asking you to log how many days you've travelled in sustainably. So that will be that kind of weekly reporting feature every Friday. We've got a question from Jess at SWAST. So will the actions change over time? Isabel, perhaps you want to answer this one.
Oh, well, yes, they will change over time. Kind of, we'll always be building on the existing activities and sometimes in line with certain themes throughout the year. So, for example, in June, it will be World Environment Day. So there'll be a couple of new activities coming to mark that, and also a chance to win a year's National Trust membership.
Yeah, exactly. So Tiffany Price has asked, how is the CO2 avoided calculated? Hi, Tiffany from Dorset County. So, so the CO2 avoided is calculated based on, so there are certain activities within that that we can get carbon conversions for, and we do them for the opt-in activities. So those are the ones that would be reported on every week. So we look at data that provides carbon conversions for those activities, and then kind of use that data to make the carbon calculation of how much, as an estimation, would be avoided through you doing that. And it is an estimation, of course, there's lots of different variables within that, but it's using kind of reliable data to calculate that.
I think just picking up on that and also touching on RJ's question there about individual change and sort of organizational change. Of course, these individual activities can be relatively quite small in terms of carbon saved, but one of the objectives here is to bring about change at scale. So lots of small activities can add up and have quite an important effect when done at that sort of scale. And this system is being rolled out over a user base of 24,000 people. It's encouraging them to change their activities at home and at work as well. So it truly is at scale. And I think also we've got the opportunity, and we've talked about changing the activities over time. This is a platform that's very flexible, and the sustainability leads have got many different ideas, across the Dorset system of how we'd like to extend how we use the system, and I'm sure that process will carry on. But one of the objectives that we've got lined up for this year is to incorporate training for sustainable QI, sustainable quality improvement, and that really will look at sustainability activities as a team or as a whole process, as a department, and not just training to help people prepare for those projects, but also encouraging them to log their ideas for projects, trigger a project, participate in a project, log that they've captured the results of that project and they've facilitated the spread. So there's lots of opportunities for us to use Ecoearn as a way to encourage those wider sort of team activities as well.
Yeah, and maybe that links into Tracy's question. So Tracy Lyons from UHD, she asks, how is this going to help with the Trust's overall carbon reduction plan, and will activities be logged against green plans? Stuart, would that be one for you?
So absolutely. So as I say, lots of small activities done at scale will be making significant contribution. And for example, we've got activities there for switching off lights and reducing unnecessary waste. One of the activities is road mapping users to the reuse scheme. And as we know from the studies that have been done, things like reusable walking aids have quite a significant carbon saving if we can bring those devices back into use rather than being wasted. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Tracy has another question. So is it possible to log things every day, or do you log into options and report each Friday? So you can definitely go on the platform kind of every day, and there's lots of different things that you can do. So maybe one day you're going to submit your photo of being outside. Maybe you went outside on a lunch break and connect with nature. Another day you might do the pledge and report activity. But ultimately, every Friday, those activities that are the opt-in ones, where we're asking you kind of how you've done against that activity that week, you'll get asked each Friday in an email that comes to you how you've done against that. But if you miss that email, you can always go onto the platform, and one of the top boxes says take action, get rewarded, and there's a button there which takes you through to that form, so you can if you miss that weekly email, you'll be taken through to the same form to fill in and say how you've done that past week and the week before. So if you're off on annual leave and you miss it that week, you can still get your points for the week before and log those actions. Thank you everyone for the questions. We've had some really good ones and some really, thoughtful, different kind of questions. So thank you everyone for attending and for giving us your questions. I noticed some comments on kind of a bit of blurring, and I hope that wasn't too much of an issue. Apologies for not seeing that earlier, but hopefully that was okay. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming along. I guess the ultimate message is, log into Ecoearn, download the app and start taking part in the actions and winning points and prizes. And
it's not blurred in the flesh either.
Yeah. And also tell your colleagues and get them involved with it, because this is how we're going to kind of make an impact with doing it all together. So we'll finish there, and I will show the video again just as an ending. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming along.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Take positive action with the Dorset NHS Trust Sustainability and Wellbeing Programme Ecoearn. Sign up, and with every positive action you make, you will help contribute to a more sustainable NHS. There are over 20 activities for you to take part in and earn points for. Earn green points by minimising your waste and bringing a reusable cup. Opt to travel more sustainably by cycling, walking, or taking public transport. Get rewarded for tracking your steps. Climb the leaderboard and compete with your colleagues across 5 Dorset NHS trusts. See the impact of your actions and how they add up across the trusts. Each month, the top points earners win vouchers for local and national businesses. Sign up today at ecoearn.co.uk or download the app and help the NHS reach net zero.